So earlier this month, I released a video about retractable fountain pens, and the Writech ClickTech was one of those pens. Shortly after I made that video, Writech got in touch with me before they'd seen it and asked if I would like to review a bunch of their products, their fountain pens and their gel pens. That one that I reviewed in that other video was from an Amazon seller. This has come direct from Writech. So I am very grateful for them. They sent out a bunch of things. I'm going to show a little unboxing of what they sent me, and then I'm going to do a featured video today on the gel pens and the Space Up gel pens, which I think are brilliant. The fountain pens that they sent out, they will have their own video in a week or so's time. I just wanted to dedicate a video to them and a video to these. So please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee you'll get early access to my videos, priority comments, and a few other bits and pieces along the way. But right now, let's check out the gel pens and the Space Up gel pens from Writech, and a big thank you to Writech for sending them over. Okay, so here we are with part one of this video. I'm going to talk about what Writech were kind enough to send out. I'll ink the fountain pens, write with the other ones, and then come back to the fountain pens, hopefully when they're writing. So what did they send out? Firstly, they send out a standard ClickTech. This is the one that we've all come to know and love, with the little interesting flap door. Let's get these opened up. And so I've got the tealy sort of turquoise green one here. This is in a medium nib. And these are the ones where, yeah, like the little door opens up. And so let's get that inked. These come with a set of 5 cartridges. I'll put all that packaging to the side. So we'll put a nice blue one in there. And they say stand it down, push it. Oh yeah, got a good click on that. Put that together. I'll put that aside for a few minutes, and then we'll have a write with it. The second fountain pen they sent was another ClickTech, but this is sort of like the nice sort of what I call the corporate packaging. This is the all black version, and it's like, you know, just looks a little bit more sort of grown up. It's the same method, which is nice. It's, you know, they're a good pen. Once again, we'll use a cartridge from here, so we'll use a black one this time. Nice set of 10 black cartridges. Sit that on there, flat down on the desk. Nice pop, and we'll give that a few minutes to work its magic. Then they sent this. This is the Space Up Metal. So this is a gel pen. I've seen these online and they look very cool. So we'll start just, I think they're both the same. Yeah, 0.7 in black. So we'll just engage the black one here today. And it is a clip pen. It's got a nice sort of clip on it there. But when you depress the clip knock, I should say, the clip escapes down into the pen body there, keeping it nice and streamlined. And it's actually it's got a nice weight to it. Like it feels good in the hand. It's not heavy, but it's I'll just take that little ball off there. But yeah, it's very nice. And it writes beautifully. Wow. Yeah, that's really, really nice. And let's just do a quick dry test. That's pretty good. So by 10 seconds, like we've just got a tiny little bit left there. I'm always asked by left-handed writers what sort of pens they should use. And, you know, any quick drying gel pen is one that I, you know, quite happily sort of recommend, and that's great. So yeah, Writech Space Up there. That's very cool. And so I've got 2 of those. I should say what I'm going to do is I'm just introducing you to everything here in this video, and then after a couple of weeks of using things, when I've got some thoughts on them, I'll come back with a little bit sort of more information and you know, do the dimensions, all that kind of stuff. Then we have the Switch gel pens. We've got a pack of them here. There are 10 different colors. So I will just start from one end and work my way over. So once again, we'll start with the black. These are 0.7. So there are two ways you can be clicking this pen. And that changes by twisting this knob here on the end. So if you want it silent, you have it one way, and it's pretty much a silent click. Or if you like the click, you can turn that, and then it becomes a click. So like if you're in a meeting and you're a clicker, you know, there are a number of us who are, you have it on the silent there and you can click away to your heart's content and not really annoy too many people. Or if you want the click, it's there as well. It's an interesting little fun toy there. It's a really lovely, dark, smooth formulation. So this is the 07 black. That's dried pretty quickly. Yeah, very nice. Next we have the orange. Once again, it's got a nice sort of a saturation and pretty quick dry. We have the, what I'm going to call the lime green. We have the sort of traditional green. This is one I'm most excited about. This is the teal. I don't know what they call it. There's also a light blue. Maybe this is just turquoise or something. Very good. There's the light blue. Wow. That's a fantastic color. You've got standard, you know, regular everyday blue, the purple, pink. The pink has a tip on it. Some of these have probably been, this is a sample pack that was sent out, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of these have already been, you know, used. This pink is very, very juicy. It feels different to all the others on the page here. Oh, this is a 1 millimeter. That would be why. All the others are 0.7s apart from this pink one. So 1.0 there. It's juicy, juicy, juicy. So that's an interesting little addition into the pack. And then we've got 0.7, once again in the red. So as I said, this is like a sample pack that has been sent out to me. So, you know, there's going to be, this isn't a, you know, I haven't bought this off the shelf. They were sent to me from their office. And often, you know, samples go around a few hands and things like that before they come to me. That is absolutely fine. But yes, that's a different one altogether. But from all those, they perform really well. Things I really like. So the grip section here is rubberized. There's a little bit of give in it. I'm not sure the camera will show that, but like it moves it around a little bit, but it's very comfortable. It's nice and lightweight. I do like the idea of this, like, you know, click mute on it. I don't know which one I will prefer. But they are very smooth. And excellent saturation. Even the lighter ones, they're perfectly legible. Well, I should say this is optic paper. So like nice, bright, vibrant white paper. So now let's see about these fountain pens. See if they're right. So I've got the, this is the, what's it called, the Writech fountain pens. These are fine. I spelled that wrong. I spelled everything wrong. So it's not super wet here yet. That may be just because like the ink has just been put in. So as I said, I will be doing a more considered full review of these. And it's always best to leave your pens for a few minutes after you put the cartridge in to really prime the feed and get it all completely saturated. But as I said, this is the fine. I'll just call it the black fine with the Writech black ink. I'm not sure who makes their ink, but it's a nice solid black. I have used the Writech fountain pens before, the Writech one. I can't remember who it was from. It was from a random seller on Amazon or something that I contacted. They were happy to send one out. You would have seen in the video I made about retractable fountain pens, the second volume of that, which launched earlier this month, where we are now in August 2026. And I commented, and I used the Writech, and it performed really, really admirably. Very smooth, very nice and wet. It stayed, like sealed up and wet, as you know, for longer periods of time, better than a range of the other affordable fountain pens on the market, that retractable fountain pens. And I will talk about pricing of all of these things in the second half of this video. But let's just give this medium nib one here a quick go. See if we've got anything writing now. Yes. It's not quite as smooth as the fine, but it's nice. It's wet. It's a very different sort of tactile experience. Once again, maybe once the ink is primed a little more, it'll be a little bit better. We'll call this one the turquoise. I cannot write today at all. I just looked on the packet, and apparently this is called the green. There you go. And this one is a medium with Writech blue. Okay, so that is a first look at some of these lovely pens sent out to me by Writech, and I'm very grateful for their interest in my viewpoint on these, particularly as a left-handed writer with quick drying ink. I really appreciate the opportunity to, show my left-handed portion of my audience a little bit about all of these. So let's now do the magic of editing and jump forward a couple of weeks to this full, actual, more in-depth opinions on some of this right here. Okay, so here's the second part of this video, but I've decided to just focus on the gel pens in this video, and I'll make a separate video in a week or so about the fountain pens. I had the Switch gel pens in 0.7 and one, the pink one here in a 1mm, and then the Writech Space Up Metal, which is also known as the Metal Up gel pen. So what I thought I would quickly do is just give a little bit of basic information about both of these. I'll pick up a random, I'll get my favorite teal one out. Okay, so this is the Metal Up gel pen. It is a metal-bodied aluminium magnesium alloy pen. It has a knock mechanism that is very cool because it's got this very functional little clip on it, but when you press the knock, the clip is pulled in line with the rest of the pen, which makes it very sleek and very cool. And yeah, it's got Writech Space Up. So once again, depending on where you look, it's either listed as the Space Up or as the Metal Up gel pen. This comes in a pack of 2 of these pens with 2 extra refills, as you would have seen in the original video. And it has a patented silent click. I like the knock mechanism quite a lot. These retail for about 32 to 35 Australian on Amazon. So it's pretty good. I'm going to show writing samples of all of these on some different papers and things, but we'll just talk about the actual models first. And then the Switch Up, or the Switch gel pen, comes in 0.7 or, as I said, 1mm. And these retail in a pack of 10 for, once again, between 32 and 35 Australian dollars. And these have that switch mechanism to adjust the knock. This is a multicolor set. It's very good, and I have found them to be perfectly usable. In fact, I've enjoyed using them. I've tried them out in a range of different papers, as you'll see. I've been writing particularly with this one quite a lot. And one thing I have found is that the refill really keeps up nicely. It's a really nice refill, and if I can find those refills, I know you can get the refills in a 0.5 on the Writech website. But if I can find those 0.7s, I'll probably try and find a few other pens that will take it as well. So I've done the sort of full writing sample here on, this is once again the optic paper, which I really like. Space Up pen or Metal Up gel pen, 0.7 black. It's solid black. It's very nice indeed. And then these Switch gel pens, they look fantastic, 01. And if I'm pretty sure it's the same refill across the two pens as well. That Writech gel refill I think is probably the same, because they look exactly the same, and when you take them out of the pen bodies, they also look very similar. On the reverse of this optic paper, you'll see there's no like bleeding or anything like that from the gel pens or any of it. It's all very well behaved. Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, I've got it on a few other kinds of paper. I tried it on a very low-end student notepad paper, and it writes perfectly fine. The colours aren't as nice on here as they are on the optic paper, as you would expect, but, they write perfectly well. And on the reverse, there's only a few spots of bleed. This is really low-quality paper. Like, this struggles with some ballpoint pens, but you can see, like, just a few spots of a bit of bleed happening there on this paper. And then I tried them here in the back of a Moleskine notebook. We actually get a little bit of sort of line spread and sometimes even a slight bit of feather on this paper. I don't know what Moleskine think they're doing with paper, but it's not great. But this is an example of, using a paper that people swear by, but I'm not exactly sure why. There's more bleeding on here than there was even on the the low-end student notepad paper. So it's, these are gel pens generally perform better than a lot of rollerballs will. And just for the sake of the exercise, I'll just write on this Moleskine with a Retro 51 rollerball and a fountain pen. This is just an extra fine fountain pen here. You can see that fountain pen is like feathering and mottling like crazy. And so you can see there's a lot of more bleed sort of through here on that one. But so this paper doesn't handle like a lot of rollerballs and things, but it will hold ballpoint quite well. And these gel pens sort of perform better than a lot of the rollerballs and fountain pen, but there is still a little bit of bleed there on the Moleskine paper. Just for the sake of the record, a lot of you know that I use my pens a lot for writing out lyrics. So this was just one of the sheets I use. This is Studio Milligram paper. This is the purple version of the gel pen. This is this one here. It performed beautifully. Like, it's held up really well over a page. Like, this is written quite fast because it's like a test of memory. And it's held up really, really well. It looks great. It looks solid on this paper. And I found that with all of the pens. I used the orange and the teal quite a lot, sort of just in everyday use. And I found them to work really beautifully. So let's quickly talk dimensions. So the Metal Up one is 148 millimeters when it is with the tip retracted. And then when you push the knockdown to put the tip out, it comes down to 145. So you lose a couple of millimeters, of course, in the knock, but you gain a couple in the end. But it's sort of a nice balance, and it's about 10 millimeters around the body, weighs 17 grams, so nice sort of size. The simple little plastic switch gel pen here is 148 to 147 when it's retracted to out. It's about 11 millimeters around the section, and it weighs 12.5 grams, so quite lightweight. Very clean. Okay, so what are my thoughts about these Writech gel pens? Firstly, I'll talk about the Metal Up gel pen. I want to talk about the refill. 0.7, so very nice. It's smooth and consistent. The black is nice and rich, and it has what they call their twin ball mechanism, which allows for like a more even flow. So it passes over a ball and then around the roller of the sort of the simple ball pen there. It dries relatively quickly. It has some water resistance. It's good, and it has a good life. Like, I'll show you like the unopened refill versus the one I've been using. I've been using this one for like the last few weeks, and you can see there, you know, it's worked its way down, but I've done quite a lot of writing with this. I've been using this quite a lot at work and things like that, so it's been a very useful pen in that respect. And so it's got good life, which I enjoy. And as I said, I think it's the same refill across these. But of course, with these, you've got like, you know, a few more sort of colors as well. So I find the refill to be super reliable. It's it will write on most surfaces I've found. I haven't found like any papers, cards, receipts, those kinds of things that I've had to write on for where it hasn't worked. The colors are vibrant on the colored ones. They stand out. Like I will probably end up swapping out in one of these, one of the colored refills, and having this as a pair, just for sort of everyday use like that. I find that would be a lovely combination. Maybe the teal and the orange, because those are the colors I tend to lean towards. But they're very nice. As I said, you can buy the 0.5 if you want to. They work well. They're reliable. Now, let's just talk about the actual pen models themselves. So I think the cons we'll talk about with this is the only con I actually have is a couple of design things. Firstly, like the way that sort of tapers in and then sort of straightens out, I don't think that looks super... I would have preferred just like a straight, simple cone on there. And then the other thing is like that knock, like it's quite a big knock. I think a simpler knock would have been really nice. It's that with this same mechanism and the same sort of, not clicky, but it's almost silent mechanism with the trapdoor, all that kind of stuff. All of that absolutely the same, just a slightly sort of slimmer design would have been nice to my eye. But there are lots of pros. Firstly, the ink refill on all of these is fantastic. It's smooth, it's reliable, all that kind of thing. I think the mechanism of that knock is great, and it's reliable, but also I just love the balance of this pen. It's got a nice weight to it. It's got a nice feel in the hand. It's not too big, but it's certainly long enough to feel like you've got a substantial pen in your hand. Now let's talk about the Switch gel pen. It's a cheap gel pen, like $10 for $35 is pretty good. You've got good ink in them, you've got nice colors, all that kind of thing. It's very smooth. It's a nice regular sort of medium sort of size. And that switch mechanism from the audible click, if you really want that satisfying sort of click, to the silent if you're in a meeting or in a lecture at school or something, that's a neat little feature. Is it necessary? Well, that's going to be up to you. But it's a neat feature if that's something that you find appealing. I like the fact that it's simple. I don't love the fact that it's plastic and disposable and all that kind of thing, but it is a simple, clean pen with a nice sort of rubberized grip that's very comfortable. It's a nice size, all that kind of stuff. It's great. There's not a whole lot to not like about it. I think if they can continue to use these refills, develop the refills, more colors, more models, all that kind of stuff, they're going to be a real player in the gel pen world. They're a Chinese brand, so they're up against quite a lot of competition in the Asian market, but I think they do some really, really lovely things, and I think it's going to be a really cool line of pens to keep an eye out for. So a big thank you to Writech for sending these. Please stay tuned for a review of the fountain pens next month, and I think it'll be a couple of weeks' time. But yes, I found these super interesting and have found them really fun to use. And as I said, I'll probably put a couple of the color refills in here and use them quite a lot. So clearly Writech are doing some good stuff in terms of the quality of what they're producing. They're thinking about what they do. And in something like this, the Space Up gel pen, I think they've made a product that is, both interesting, but also really practical and quite nice. And as I said, I really quite like that refill. So a big thank you once again to Writech for providing these and the fountain pens you'll see in a video in a week or so's time. I'm very grateful for their support, and I'm very grateful for your support, my lovely viewers. So please like and subscribe and hit the notifications button and consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.